If you watched Monty Python, Excalibur, or Indiana Jones, you know what this video is all about. Today, we will be talking about that most famous Christian relic, the Holy Grail. Has there ever been any progress as to figuring out where it is? Has someone gone through the same adventure as Robert Langdon in Dan Brown's DaVinci Code? Is it even real to begin with? This relic has been considered a myth for centuries, but there is some truth to the stories surrounding this artifact. And a recent finding in Poland may just lead us to understanding more about the mysterious relic. Welcome to Intrigued Mind, and find out whether the latest find in Poland has links to the location of the mythical and sought-after Holy Grail. An excavation under a chapel in Skwarskani, Poland, started off with a local legend that says that the Templar Knights, under the cover of darkness, sunk a wooden box with golden coins and the Holy Grail in a lake next to the chapel. But first, what is the Holy Grail? And who are the Templar Knights? Common knowledge is that the Holy Grail is the cup Jesus drank from at the Last Supper and the cup used by Joseph of Arimathea to collect Jesus' blood during his crucifixion. However, it wasn't always described as a cup. The Grail was even portrayed as a dish, a chalice, a platter, a goblet, even a stone. But what made this a coveted artifact is that according to medieval literary works, it is capable of miraculous healing powers. Legend says that it has the power to heal all wounds, deliver eternal youth, and even grant everlasting happiness, which makes this a pretty great treasure to find, if you're lucky. This amazing artifact makes it a topic of interest for many of the present-day stories, such as in the Da Vinci Code, where the Grail is a symbol for Jesus' own bloodline, or even in video games, such as Assassin's Creed, where the knights defend the Holy Grail. The development of this folklore can be dated back to the 12th century, and is one of the mainstays of literature of that time. It first appeared in the works by Eugène de Troyes in the early 12th century, where Sir Galahad played the prominent role in quest of the Holy Grail. It is also a topic of interest in the writings of Robert de Boron in the latter 12th century, where the prominent figure is Joseph of Arimathea. In his story, Joseph brings the Holy Grail to Britain. Hence, the reason for many quest-seeking adventurers throughout the years, with the most famous being the Knights of King Arthur and the Templar Knights. Legend even has it that the Holy Grail was kept in a castle surrounded by a wasteland, and guarded by a custodian called the Fisher King. But of course, it is just a medieval legend. Or is it? The Templar Knights of the medieval times were a band of religious warriors who traveled across Europe. They were formed in the 12th century to protect Holy Land pilgrims, so they obtained a status that came with benefits such as tax breaks and extravagant papal privileges. Because of the wealth of these knights, they were able to build Gothic castles and cathedrals for worship or rest across Europe for their use. Lesser-known chapels or castles built by these knights were located in western Poland, where they were granted land to colonize and build in return for providing security for the area. And in a small village in Poland, with just over 100 residents, close to the border of Germany, lays one of these chapels. It is the chapel of Saint Stanislaus in Skwarskani. It used to be a place of worship for the Templars, and now is surprisingly still in use by the villagers for their Roman Catholic services. But what is so interesting about this tiny chapel? Archaeologists began excavating this area in 2004 because, according to historical documents, a well that is found in the vicinity is the entrance to the secret tunnel under the chapel. But it was in 2019 when they began using ground-penetrating radar, the same type of technology also used to uncover the recently discovered Roman town, Fileri Novi, which we discussed in another video together with other new discoveries. According to CNN's interview with the head archaeologist, the radar findings included centuries-old cobblestones, walls of an 18th century distillery, Bronze Age pottery, and Gothic crypts, and tunnels that not only showed the vicinity of the chapel, but also have leads to possible clues on the Holy Grail, since this place was built by the Templar Knights themselves, and could be a place where they hid the Grail, according to the folklore mentioned earlier. The findings are pretty amazing for a small chapel in a tiny village, but the connection of the Gothic crypts to the Holy Grail remains tenuous. Archaeologists dated these crypts at a later time period, after the eradication of the Templar Knights at the hands of Philip IV of France in the 14th century. There is renewed interest for these findings, as evidenced by a regrouping of Templars that now include women, the creation of the Museum of the Templar Knights, and the possibility that what lies in the crypts is the Holy Grail, or a lead to where the Holy Grail is. There is still need for further excavation and use of radar technology, but based on local lore, the tunnels that run underneath the chapel and the village lead to the Dominican monastery in Dubrovnik, Croatia, which is the location of a large Templar castle. You may be familiar with this castle, since it is where they shot many parts of Game of Thrones. Remember the picturesque scenes of King's Landing? That's where they filmed it. But going back to the Holy Grail, since it is one of the most popular Catholic relics out there are of course a plethora of claims where people said they have the Grail or know its whereabouts. The search for this Christian relic has never ceased, and its ownership or whereabouts remain unknown today. There have been instances where cups claimed to be the Grail. One account being the cup is in St. Mary of Valencia Cathedral. This cup was supposedly taken by St. Peter to Rome in the 1st century, then to Spain. This chalice is adorned with medieval alabaster, gold, and gemstones. However, it is not the Holy Grail. Why is it not the cherished Christian relic? Well, this chalice has an elaborate history, as it has been used by popes for centuries during Catholic celebrations, and its craftsmanship has been dated to the 1st century CE. To add to that, its origin is found to be the Middle East. It fits the bill geographically and chronologically, but the problem is there is no way to verify that it is the Holy Grail. Aside from the fact that it doesn't even have healing properties, many say that it should not have been that easy to find the. Another mistaken identity of the Holy Grail is an emerald chalice at Genoa. It was taken to Genoa by Guglielmo Imbriaco as part of the spoils from the conquest of Caesarea in 1101. It has been championed as the Holy Grail. However, after being taken by Napoleon, it was damaged upon return to Genoa, revealing that the material is likely. But could there be another meaning to the Holy Grail myth? According to an Italian philosopher from the 1800s, the Holy Grail could have been an expression of hope and will of ruling classes in the Middle Ages to reorganize the Western world into a. Spreading stories about the quest for the Holy Grail inspired Christians to be faithful and to take up the mantle of Christ in an era defined by holy war, helping spread Christianity. This all benefited the Catholic. It is an interesting thought that is highly probable, as it has been centuries and there has never been any close lead towards the search for the miraculous relic. Or perhaps the true wonder of the Holy Grail was not in the finding, but the searching, as written by Quinn Hargitay of the BBC. He mentions how the tales that were built on this Holy Grail legend created stories that would last a lifetime. And it is true. It is one of the folklores that have survived for centuries, and one of the tales that has evolved with the times. From stories of Sir Galahad's quests in the medieval 12th century to bustling across Paris in a car tracing clues for the Holy Grail in the 21st century. It will continue on to be one of the prominent stories that accompanies humanity throughout history. Do you have any theories as to where the Holy Grail is? Let us know in the comments below. For more videos on the most amazing forgotten parts of our history, Be sure to subscribe to the Intrigued Mind channel, like the video, and leave your suggestions in the comments below.